Hey, Uncle Deke here. Gonna take you on an amazing adventure. We went from Playa del Carmen up to Puerto Morelos, which is about 45-minute drive. Puerto Morelos is a sleepy little fishing village turned into a snorkeling and diving village. And off the coast, a mile or two, they've got an old military destroyer sunk in about 100 feet of water. We got there, there were 4 dive boats already tied up and diving on it. By the time we got in the water and got down, they all left and we had to place to ourselves all day. This is it's an old destroyer, C56, and they call it the Juanita. 184 feet long, very similar to the one that I showed in Cozumel. A little bit deeper water, lots of growth on it, and usually more fish than this, but it's a double-edged sword. We got there, there was no current. They say when there's current, there's more fish because there's more plankton. Now you can see some stuff floating in the water, but not nearly what it normally is. Sometimes there's big schools of spotted eagle rays. We only saw one. We did see a big loggerhead turtle right up on the wreck, and lots of small fish. There was a huge school of sardines and a big school of jack tuna that had their way with the sardines. Pretty good deal for them. They could just have lunch anytime they wanted. It's around the back of the ship. The top of the deck would have been wood, so they probably pulled all the wood off, and that's why you can see through it like that. They cut holes in it everywhere to let the air out, I imagine, when they sunk it. There's a lot of access to the inside of it. It's all big openings, and you can pretty well see light from every place you go to inside. This was 4 of us, just kind of buddies, went on this little expedition. Alberto, Fulvio, Rick, and me. Then we hired a boat and a captain to take us out. We got there, we left about 8 o'clock in the morning from the dive shop, about 8:30. And got there in the water about 10:30, 10:45. Got home back to Playa at about 5:30, so it was a long day. To be able to spend any time in this at all, you gotta do a decompression dive, which was a hoot. This is the first of 2 videos. We're going around the outside of it here. The second video will be the inside. If you do 2 dives on this boat, that's pretty well the way they do it, because it's so big you can't do hardly all of it on the outside in one dive. So to try to do both things would be pretty tough. It's about almost 100 feet to the sand from the surface. So you really have to watch your time, your tables, and your computer. Those little fish have that spot in the back of them, so other fish think that's their eyes. And sometimes the other fish bite at the tail, and they're more likely to get away it that way. So it's a false eye, they call it. Was stretching the capabilities of my light down here to be able to get it lit up enough you could see the colors, but vivid colors, as you can see, that 99% of the time go unnoticed. If you don't have a light, you don't see those colors. There I'm checking, that's my computer. I'm checking it every minute or so to see where I'm at. Tells you how long you can stay and how long it takes you should take to go up and how much air you have left. We went all the way around the ship. That's like about 450 feet all the way around. It's a long swim. A little bit of a current on this side. Not much. Not much. It'd been a healthy current. We wouldn't have gotten very far. Not as far. Not supposed to touch anything. But I have a habit of doing that, and it's kind of like touching broken glass. I've got 3 fingers today to prove it. But it's all worth it. To be able to do something like this. This is probably a highlight of my diving career, be able to go with this group of people, all highly trained divers that love to dive and like to experience things like this. We're coming up on the hull of the ship. All 4 of us get along real good together, and we did a lot of kidding around. Alberto and Fulvio are a hoot. They had us laughing all the time, even in the water. Of course, Rick is best buddy. He's there, man. He just floats along and stays forever. Great diver, great guy. He's a keeper, Celine. Finally making it around the bow. We're going to take a little stroll up over the top. That's Fan Curl on the bow of the boat, and that's Fulvio. He's kind of a ham. I promised him I'd get some good pictures of him, and I did. And he didn't resist any of them. This is a hole through the deck that they've got lots of access into this. There's no tight places, really. Some of the hull bulkheads were the way they were. And in fact, in some of those in the next video, the camera was wider than the opening. But skinny me slid right through it. That's Rick. Very picturesque dive. Lots of shapes, colors. Of course, the fact that you're down deep and at the limit of the recreational diving. Not many places will take you on a nice long dive like this. But we have all had years and years of experience. Don't have any trouble. Had a great time. Off in the distance there is a spotted eagle ray. Rick gets fairly close to it, but it's you can't chase those things. They flipped their wings one time and they're gone. Alberto's getting a picture of Rick from below. I'm thinking, hey, actually that I think might be Fulvio, and Rick's coming up here on the right. Of course, we had this kind of set up before. Framed in the sun. Way cool, man. Way cool. I hate to have this long a video, but there's so much good stuff. This is half, less than half of the entire time. But I just can't put that long a video on YouTube. Just people wouldn't watch it. But I cut pretty hard. And I cut deep. But I couldn't cut any more than this because it was just loaded with beautiful things to see. Just wonderful things. Wish I could show all of it to you. Coming up on the main deck from the aft section. That's the command tower there. They did leave one of the cannons, 50 millimeter cannons, on the deck, on the foredeck. You get just a glimpse of it on this video, but come back to see the second one because inside is super cool. They left both of the big diesel engines in there, and the aft steering wheel, the emergency steering wheel, and lots of neat stuff to see inside. I just kind of had to force myself to leave because it was so cool. And the fact we didn't have much of a current. Look at these colors. All kinds of hard and soft corals. There's a Christmas tree worm there. Sponges. Lots of fire coral, which is pretty much what it says. Tomorrow, the next day, you're going to be burning every place you touched it. Of course, you don't want to touch anything. Now this is really cool dive. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. Come back and see part 2. See you on the other side.